Hi. Now, for the tutorial today, I'm going to take a look at a real essay that I was sent by a student. Now, as you know, on my channel, every time I make a video, I always say, if anybody's got any suggestions, any comments, questions, anything, please send me a video or get in touch. And surprisingly, no one does. However, this is the first person to contact me and actually ask for me to take a look at his essay. Now, I'm not going to say who or where, it's completely anonymous, but I hope they, when they see this, will find this video to be useful. So what I'm going to do, because I've spoken about the criteria in lots of previous videos, I've been through, the official table and what examiners want, and I've said that, well, not 1,000 times, but I've certainly said it quite a few times in video terms. But actually, in terms of teaching students, I probably have said it probably 1,000 times, and I'm getting rather tired of it, so I won't say it here. All I'll do, we'll go through this. I'll make some corrections and comments. I'll track the changes. There's a little tag here. Track the changes. And I'm going to type some alternatives to what I think we could do to improve this essay. Okay, so you'll see as we go on. Now, so interesting question. Some universities offer online courses as an alternative to classes delivered on campus. So, online or in person. Is this a positive or a negative development? So, first things first, analyze the question. Do you think? So it's asking for an opinion. So it's more or less a to what extent essay type. It's asking. So these you can usually tell these questions because they usually deliver a statement and say, do you agree or not, or to what extent, etc. So we have a statement here. Some universities offer online courses as an alternative. Okay, that's the statement. Do you think, in your opinion, this is a positive or a negative development? So it's not asking for a discussion. It's asking, do you think this is good or bad? Whichever view, you have to give two reasons why. One for paragraph 2, one for paragraph 3. Okay, so we don't need a discussion. We're not looking at both sides. We're just asking, do you think this is good or bad? I think, I don't really know. What do I think? I think it's good. I think it's a positive development because it could well be cheaper. Well, I would certainly hope so. And students don't have to be physically present. Universities are expensive. There's problems with access, especially if you're older, if you're poor, if you're working. So just having a quick think through to this, I think it's a positive development. And also, depending if it's cheaper, lots of people in many places around the world would love to go to a bricks and mortar real university, especially in England, say. But because of distance or price or culture, they cannot do so. So just thinking aloud here, is this positive or negative? I'm gonna go with yes. So I'll think of reasons why. So my two reasons would probably be it's cheaper and it should be cheaper and it should widen access to education, which is obviously a good thing. Okay. Now I can see this essay here has something along the same lines, tends to be cheaper. Okay. The same thing, so it's evening out inequality, which is good. What other reasons does he have? Location independent, that's good. So more or less the same ideas, which I would use too. because it's it's a pretty obvious question, not a very difficult one. So let's take a look at it. In recent century, now first thing, it doesn't say this. It doesn't say this. Now, educational institution right. So let's just go through the grammar first. In the recent century, educational institutional. Well, is it every or some educational institutions in the world? Let's see. I would probably change it. Educational institutions in the world or around the world, and I'd make it present perfect. Have experience development in teaching methodology. Okay, now usually for these essays, what I advise is to simply paraphrase the topic in sentence one. Right? Examiners in general don't like these very broad, sweeping statements. In the recent century, it is a common phenomenon, this is a controversial issue, it is a hot topic. We don't usually like that because it's very general, very broad. So I always advise simply to paraphrase the question. So let's get down here and let's have a look. How can we paraphrase this? Let me think. Okay, so we could maybe say something like several universities now have their courses available online. Sorry, my typing is not so good. So it's right. So universities now have the courses available online as an alternative option to campus-based classroom tuition. It's a bit long-winded, but But anyway, I'm just thinking aloud here. So universities now have courses available online as an alternative option to campus-based classroom tuition. So you basically paraphrase the topic. Now, sentence two. In the past, now let's just put the changes back on. Lessons were taught in a conservative way, such as by face-to-face speech by the professor. Now, okay, and that so you've got three sentences, so you've basically got four sentences here that's paraphrasing the topic, where you only really need one. In the past, lessons were taught in a conservative way. Moreover, that subject and verbs need to agree. Of course, those methods have been used until today, even though not many as before. Not as many as what? Today, as an alternative way, universities are training, make it present participle, are training their students in general, so it's a compound noun, by using not only the conservative way, but also don't need an article. Modern methods such as online lessons, because it's an abstract noun, which a student can, such as online lessons by agency, by which a student can learn lots of subjects with time and place flexibility. So, okay, now some grammar mistakes there, but the main thing I would say here is that it's a bit of a long-winded way of paraphrasing the topic. Now, for these kind of opinion essays, we usually have an outline. We usually have an opinion a sentence and an outline sentence too in the introduction. I always tell people, keep it simple, keep it short. The secret to getting good scores is to give the examiners what they are asking for and nothing more. Okay, so let's see how I would do it. Let's just put a bit of space in this, get a bit of space, and let's put this up here a bit. So we'll, oops, turn that off. Now, I would give an opinion sentence now. Information. I believe this. Oh shit. Oops. I believe this is a positive step. As now, I'm going to combine my opinion with my two main ideas, the outline, in a single sentence. You could have a separate sentence. I believe this is a positive step. Stop. This essay will talk about blah, 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 blah. But I'm just going to put it in a single sentence. I believe this is a positive step as online tuition should be cheaper and therefore available to more people. Main idea 1, this will be for paragraph 2, and also that what's the second idea about location? People, and also that remote learning will have a similar broadening of access. Okay, now you don't have to say a lot of detail because we're going to be talking about this in paragraph 2 and 3. So you just have to give an indication of what you're going to be talking about, and then you explain the details in paragraph 2 and 3. So now, sentence 1, right? We've got a restatement of the topic. Several universities now have their courses available online, blah, blah, blah. I believe, because it's asking, do you think this is positive or a negative thing? I believe this is a positive step. You can paraphrase a bit as online tuition now, and then my two main reasons, as online tuition should be cheaper and therefore available to more people, and also that remote learning will have a similar broadening of access. So that's what I'm going to be talking about for paragraph 2 and 3. Okay, so now we've covered the introduction. So as you can see, my introduction now, restate the topic, and we've got an outline sentence. So let's take a look. So we need 2 paragraphs essentially for the main body of the essay, the 2 main ideas. So we've got 4, well, 1, 2, 3, and a conclusion. So we'll take a look at the grammar and the vocab first, and then we'll see about the structure. So to be more specific, that methods, again, subject verbs, also called e-learning system or a e-learning system or e-learning or the e-learning system, wherein the materials are managed properly online, then the study will begin based on the instruction on the lecturer. Okay, well that doesn't really... So, again, we have to keep going back to the question. The question's asking, is online courses as an alternative to, is online courses as an alternative to offline real-time courses, is that a good or a bad thing? And this is what we're asking about. So this sentence doesn't really do a lot. Okay, as a result, for students who get emergency problem or have an emergency problem, like going abroad to attend their death ceremony of their family or their funeral, as we would call it, they can still study in a different place, or they can still study even if they are in a different place, as long as they have an internet connection properly. As long as they have internet connection or a good internet connection, that's better. So they have a The net connection. Okay, well, what we really need here is to talk about your first main idea. Why you think it's a good or bad thing. So this is. So as far as I can see here, this paragraph is talking about it's good because if you have to change location, like if you have a family emergency, though a family emergency, a funeral would only last a day or two, even if you had to go home or so that wouldn't really affect a complete e-learning course, like a course, so let's have a look then. So let's have a look. Firstly, oops, turn this off. Let's get this on. Right, so what's my main idea? Online tuition should be cheaper. Firstly, the main advantage of online learning is that of cost. So you briefly introduce your main idea. Then, sentence 2, we have to explain it and expand it. I don't want to say the same thing. I shall do so. Many online courses are considerably cheaper than attending a bricks and mortar institution, which is just another expression that means a building. Considerably cheaper than a bricks and mortar institution, as they are virtual and do not require a building, staff, etc. So I've introduced it. Main advantage is cost. When I expand, my online courses are cheaper because continue attending bricks and mortar, they're virtual, they don't need the building or staff. Example. Now we need an example. Every essay says give reasons and example. For example, as a teacher, I know that oops. Now I'm going to give a real example that I know about. If you do have a personal example, that's good, but you can make examples up, as I've mentioned in previous tutorials. For example, as a teacher, I know that many would-be teachers take online teaching English as a foreign language course, take online several courses, as they are a fraction of the cost of attending language school. Now that's true because if you take a TEFL course, if you take a CELTA, it's at least £1,000. And I know that some language schools offer online versions for a couple of £100. So that's a good example then. Okay, teachers. Now you can put a summary sentence if you want, but I don't think I really need one here. This is pretty clear, so that's not bad. That's the first main idea. So let's go back to the essay then. So now we seem to have two ideas here, and then we've got a contrasting opinion. So again, first we'll look at the grammar, and then we'll take a look at the structure. In addition, it will be impacted to budget of the study. I'm not sure why it is is passive. It will have an impact on the budget of the study. We won't say budget, it's not a collocation on the cost, maybe, on the cost of the study. Online study tends, don't forget that third person S, to be cheaper than, you don't need an article, face-to-face study. It is because the media for study is, we don't need that, is the internet, and the internet price today is much cheaper as well. As a result, everyone can study even though they are not wealthy people. Okay. In contrast, it might be true that now, so we've got two reasons here, but now we've got an opposite view. Now, as I said, because it's an opinion essay, we don't need a balanced view. We just don't. It's just asking you, do you think this is positive or, good or bad, yes or no? Tell me why. Not a discussion. So we don't really need this. In contrast, it might be true of people who attend online class or classes or an online class. Will be lack sense of learning. Will be lacking a sense of learning because they do not obtain the atmosphere. Well, experience might be a better verb. Experience the atmosphere of a teaching situation, but actually, honestly, students get numerous concentration and calmness. To get numerous, can you have more than one concentration to assist? So they assist students to concentrate and be calm. Okay. Right. As a result, they tend to understand the topic more comprehensively because they do not get disturbance from their friend or they are not disturbed. That's better, because they are not disturbed by, as an agent, as a preposition, by their friends, because it's an abstract noun, so we make it a plural, in online class or in online classes. Okay. So let's just go through this again. And so those methods, so location, budget. Then there's a balanced view. I mean, it's not bad, but we don't really need it. In conclusion, online study is the positive outcome. Well, possibly one of several, is a positive outcome, not only for students, but also for many people connected with education. Why? What's this got to do with it? Who are these people? Now, this looks like a new idea, and we don't really want these. We don't want new ideas. Many people connected with education. Is this mentioned anywhere about how other people has an impact on? Not really. So we don't need this. Furthermore, it might be the best methods. Well, if it's a superlative, we only need what? The best method of teaching in the future, because of the flexibility and the low price which are proposed by it. Because of the flexibility and the low price which most courses offer. That's a little better. Okay, so we've got some grammar, we've got some vocab here, but the structure, the organisation, it's, for one thing, it's the wrong question type. This is a discussion. It's not really giving specific reason. And there are no specific reasons and examples. There's very general examples, very general reasons. So let's see what else we can do. So I need a second reason now. So my second reason is online learning, remote learning will have a similar border of access. Right, so people, this means that, oops, turn that off again. So I need a summary. This means that all people can access this kind of course than previously. Okay, so my second idea is remote learning, a similar broadening of access. So now for the second body paragraph. So this idea is about remote learning will have a similar broadening of access. Okay. Also, being able to access a lesson online means that it can, oops, sorry, my typing is not so good today. Yeah. Online means it can be available anywhere. So that's sentence one, your main idea. The remote learning has a broadening of access. So explain this. This means that many people living in remote parts of the world, especially the less developed areas, can have quality education at their fingertips. Can have quality education. I'll just change quality educational content at their fingertips. Right. So we've expanded this a bit. I'll just change that because it's not a very good spelling. Right. So being able to access a lesson online means it can be available anywhere, which means many people living in remote parts of the world, especially less developed areas, can have quality educational content at their fingertips. Now, I need an example. As I mentioned 1,000 million times, how many millions of times have I told you not to exaggerate? For example, as I've said before, you can make some shit up. It doesn't have to be real. As long as it's plausible, that's good enough. So we can make up an example. So what example can I make up for this? Remote learning. Right, let's go down the research route. This is always a popular one. For example, the University of where? My old university, University of Bath. University of Bath conducted research in 2016 showed that over 80% of online students were from Africa and Southeast Asia. That's good. Now I need a summary or a sentence to explain this a little better. So remote parts of the world, quality content, upset online students with Africa and Southeast Asia. The implications of this study shows that distance is not a barrier to education for the people in developing nations. Boom, that will do. That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Now, in conclusion, we've got to paraphrase the introduction. We have to say what we said in the introduction. So, let me just go through this. So, several universities now have their courses available online as an alternative option to campus-based classroom tuition. I believe this is a positive step, as online tuition should be cheaper and therefore available to more people. And also that remote learning will have a similar broadening of access. Okay, firstly, the main advantage of online learning is at the cost. Many online courses are considerably cheaper than attending a bricks and mortar institution, as they are virtual and do not require a building, staff, etc. For example, as a teacher, I know that many would-be teachers take online TEFL courses, as they are a fraction of the cost of attending a language school. This means that more people can access this kind of course than previously. Also, being able to access a lesson online means it can be available anywhere. This means that many people living in remote parts of the world, especially the less developed areas, can have quality educational content at their fingertips. For example, the University of Bath, or University of Bath, if you come from up north, as I do, conducted research in 2016 which showed that over 80% of online students were from Africa and Southeast Asia. The implications of the study show distance is not a barrier to education for the people in developing nations. Excellent. So, in conclusion, is it an increase or something? In conclusion, the increase in universities offering online courses is, I believe, my opinion is, I believe, a significant step, a significant positive, is a significant benefit. I believe it's a significant benefit. Significant benefit as cheaper. I don't want to keep using courses because the whole point is to show development of language, not keep using the same things. Significant benefit as cheaper. Cheaper tuition. Cheaper tuition and ability to access remotely is of obvious benefit for less well-off people and students in remote parts, people and students in far-flung places, far-flung places of the world. Boom, that would do. That would do. So, online courses, I believe it's good. So it's asking, do I think it's a positive, and I say yes. Main idea, cheaper tuition, ability to access remotely is a benefit. I'll change. I'll change that. Don't want to use it again. So advantage. Okay. Yep. That would do fine. Now let's just check a word count. See what we've got. 251. Ooh, right on the bottom. I could make it longer. I could maybe put more in the conclusion, but that's basically. I mean, this is just an illustration. That would do well. That would do fine. So, I hope you can see the difference between the two and how it could work. So, as I say, there's a few bits of grammar here. Well, a few and vocab, as you see, but one of the things that would pull this down also, because vocab and grammar are only half of the story, what would pull this down to is it's not really doing what the essay is asking. It's an opinion piece, so it should have an opinion approach and a structure such as this. So what I'll do, I'll post these materials on my site. You can access them, you can download them or copy and paste them, and I hope that should give you some ideas. Great. So as I've mentioned before, if anybody has any essays they want to send me, please do so. I can use them as material for future videos. Okay, great. I'll see you later. Bye.